Hello everyone, and welcome to the Total War Warhammer Vampire Counts in-engine cinematic trailer. I have been super excited for this. I watched it while I was at work, and I've just been dying to get home and put out a video for you guys talking about everything I saw in the trailer. So let's go ahead and go through the trailer, and I'll just be talking over it. Actually, we'll probably just turn the volume down super low, but let's go ahead and get started. So psyched for this trailer. I think they did a great job. Although I'm not going to have the music loud enough for you to hear it, I think the fact that they have a creepy rendition of London Bridge is falling down in the background is just so fitting. It just conveys the mood so well. So obviously we've got a witch hunter leading a group of spearmen, which I don't think those had been confirmed yet, because I don't think those were halberds. So that might be telling us that spearmen are in the game. Yeah, those are definitely spears. I love how creepy Slovenia's turned out to be. It's absolutely perfect that it's just mist-wreathed and you can't see anything, and it's really creepy. Like, I want to have it where I'm going through Slovenia, it should feel like I want to be scared, and I want to be looking every direction like, Obviously, we've got a Banshee here. I like the Ethereal effect. She is ugly. We've got skeletons popping up all over the place. I love how jerky their movement is. It looks like they're puppets literally being handled. There we've got Manfred von Karstein. Behind him, vampire bats to the right are hex rays, to the left are crypt ghouls. The hex rays I'm very excited for. We'll talk about those more in a bit. Obviously, we've got some crypt ghouls over there on the right. We'll talk about them more in a bit. Here we've got some regular fell bats flying over the terrain into Averheim. I'll talk slower at the end of this. Averheim looks amazing. I loved how packed the city is, yet the streets are so wide. There's a nice little steam tank there, and look at all these units of knights. The walls look huge. Those siege towers are just amazing. We got a White King. We've got Graveguard. We've got a Vargo, which we'll talk a lot about the Vargo in a little bit. I love the way it looks. Hellstorm rocket batteries, which are way better than they were in tabletop, just based on that volley alone. More cinematic stuff. I really like Manfred's look. He's got some serious shoulder pauldrons. Invading the walls. Just look how much room there is up there. It looks amazing. Like, you're actually going to be able to maneuver and fight on the walls. The Vargo just kind of smashed through the gate. Here's a Bright Wizard on a Pegasus, and he just sort of made him have a bad day. Here comes the Zombie Dragon, which I'm probably the most excited for, and just nom, he's dead. Worst shot in the universe, Mr. Witch Hunter. I'm assuming he was aiming for Manfred. The zombies. Sweet, wonderful zombies. Why the dwarves just have a couple of cannons and not like a single guy trying to guard them, lovely grudge throwers, is beyond me. That is a Vargeist, very, very powerful unit in tabletop. This, in my opinion, is the worst witch hunter in the universe, because what religious fanatic would give up when he's surrounded? Like, I would wait till Manfred was talking crap to me right there and just shoot him in the face. Here he's about to use his Raise Dead spell, which I know a lot of people are very excited for, and that we actually can raise dead on the battlefield. Though, if you'll notice, they kind of cheat in that none of the corpses are actually getting up. Those zombies are all coming out of the ground beneath the corpses. Which, I mean, if we go back and look, you'll see, like, especially right there. Like, see, those guys are coming out of the ground, but none of the actual bodies are getting up. Which I don't think is a bad thing, because the bodies that are getting up are still in the colors of the enemy, which I think if they do that consistently is going to be really cool, because honestly I think having the actual bodies get up would just be a ton of work. I think it's much more easy to just have zombies get up with similar colors to the unit that was killed. Sort of going through to talk about a couple things. I love the siege towers. I'm loving everything. I'm just the sheer size of everything is so over the top and so grandiose that it's perfect. That's what Warhammer is all about. It's about taking everything you know and kicking it up to 11. You know, in Warhammer, we don't just have big cities. We have freaking gigantic cities that completely defy the laws of physics for how these structures are standing up. Like, if you look at some of these buildings, they make no architectural sense. And it's just super messy. honestly, the VC army looks a little tiny. I'm loving the Fellbats. So let's talk about this Vargulf here. Vargulfs are actually a wonderful, wonderful beast. See, I think there's a good slot coming up of them right here. So these critters are actually part wolf, part bat, and part insect, typically. They're kind of these horrific abominations. They're vampires that have gone through some just absolutely horrific changes due to various sorceries and experimentations and other such things. And this is the form they have. And I think they actually did a very good job of catching its appearance. You know, it draws to mind the visage of a bat, but it's very distorted looking. Especially the back half of it almost looks like the thorax on an insect. I think the thorax is the right part. And it looks like he's the one that knocks down the gate or blasts through it. I think he has help, because you'll notice when he breaks through the gate up here in a second, there's like a blue... Yeah, there was like all that blue fire that sort of looks like something else might have actually punched the gate in. Or maybe he was buffed. Now, hopefully, he doesn't get one-shot consistently by fire wizards. Granted, in tabletop, if that were an actual Vargulf, and that had actually been a Bright Wizard using a powerful fire spell, the Vargulf probably would have died instantly, because they tend to rely on very heavy regeneration. But one thing I want to point out is, look at the size of this guy compared to these warriors. Like, he is at least 4, maybe 6 times their height, if not bigger. Like, this thing is gigantic. I mean, look at the skeletons behind him. They're itty-bitty compared to him. I just love how huge he is. So, I mean, who knows? He looks like he's more than capable of knocking in the gate. Another thing, if I noticed correctly, is I think... Hold on, let me look at this before I say something dumb. It looks like most of the skeletons within a regiment are moving in step. Let's see, Banshee... who's nice and ugly. The Banshee screamed, nobody dropped dead, so I'm a little disappointed on that. I love how jolty and unsettling their movement is. The creepier, the better. Hex Race, looking forward to that Ethereal Cavalry here on the left. I can't wait to use them. They're very infamous in tabletop for being very durable. And just, they'll run through a unit, just scything through them, doing tons of damage. They're basically a unit of Grim Reapers. That makes sense. Excuse me. We haven't had it confirmed for us how Ethereal is going to work. I imagine it's just going to be really significant damage reduction, because I think anything else beside that would probably just be really impractical. Like, you shouldn't punish people for not having a wizard in their army, which in tabletop, if your enemy has Ethereal units, you're totally punished for not having a wizard in your army. But you can use combat res to kill them. Well, combat res can't exist in a moving environment like Total War Warhammer. So hopefully, sorry, I'm getting Steam messages because people are excited. So hopefully they'll be damageable. I'm just hoping they're just really tough. And obviously we got our Crypt Ghouls over here. So they've got lovely poison attacks, which we know are in the game, because if you've seen the roster for the Chaos DLC, they have one of the Warhound options. You have regular Warhounds and you have Warhounds with poison attacks. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how poison's going to work in the game. But they look nice and creepy with all those bones stacked on their hunchbacks. The Fellbats are massive. There's a part coming up in the Siege where it shows a Fellbat just like going to town on some poor bastard. I mean, the size of everything is just so ridiculous. I love the White King. Absolutely. And the Grave Guard. Oh, the Grave Guard. I love that heavy armor. They actually look way more armored than their tabletop variants, in that they actually have a full set and they're not quite as smorgasbord. Because in tabletop they're a little bit more of chaotic in the sense that they just sort of crawled out of the ground at that moment. But yeah, if you'll notice, it looked like most of the... Yeah, see that Fellbat? They're freaking huge compared to those guys. But I also love how quick the Grave Guard are. You can tell that they're a more elite form of undead. Like, the skeletons are all jolted and moving like awkward puppets, whereas we see the Grave Guard are fighting like elves or really, really skilled men. I'm I can watch that a million times. I hate Bright Wizards. I am more than happy to see them get pitched to be a big glowing red smear on the ground. I have heard some concerns that people say the zombie dragons aren't big enough. I honestly think they're fine. Most dragons in tabletop were roughly the size that they could like comfortably fit a guy in their mouth, unless they were like one of the really titanic dragons. God, those Vargais are big. That dwarf is so fucked. So fucked. Man, I'm just rambling. But I honestly think the zombie dragon was a good size. I mean, he seemed like he was able to comfortably fit most of that Pegasus in his mouth. So I think it's appropriate. I love Manfred's look. They could have... Excuse me. I feel like they could have gone, like, really over the top to make him all, like, glowy with red and all this other stuff. But I think that would have started creeping in on orc territory, which in my opinion would have been pretty unnecessary. I'm just looking around for if there's any other major details before I talk about some of the more Twitter stuff. I like the Witch Hunter. I think he looks really cool. Manfred's voice I thought was really nice. It kind of, it sounds like, it almost sounds like he's gargling blood while he's talking. Or just that he has really worn and gross vocal cords, which one would expect on a guy who doesn't have to breathe. I mean, he's dead. Or undead, rather. So it makes sense to me that he would sound, really weird like that, if he wasn't trying to hide his appearance. Most vampires in the lore are very well detailed as individuals that can appear very beautiful and attractive and mesmerizing, but when they show their true form, which is what Manfred is in this trailer, they're horrific looking and they're terrifying and they're very bestial in aspect and voice. So I think he actually looks and sounds extremely appropriate. And it seems like they're definitely taking the melee approach to him, seeing as he's just easily butchering his way towards this Witch Hunter. So that pretty much does it for this trailer. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad Manfred has all his signature equipment. The only other thing is that if you haven't seen it already, their Twitter image is the picture of Heinrich Himmler, the Loremaster, so he is confirmed as the second legendary lord for the Vampire Counts, which I am so excited. He's probably going to be my second playthrough. I don't know, it's so hard. It's so hard, guys. There needs to be 8 of me. Or no, with the Chaos characters, there needs to be 11 of me, so I can play all the campaigns simultaneously. Oh, but I want to do Kolek Sun Eater second. I don't know what I'm going to do. But in any event, I'm so excited. Everything looks great. I'm about to watch the live stream, which should be starting here in about an hour or so. I might make another video afterwards, if there's like a bunch of really interesting stuff, because I might throw that into the video I have coming out today, where I'm just going to be talking about Total War stuff in general. Obviously, the release date's been pushed back a month, and there's been a lot of stuff since the last time I made an update video. So, we'll talk about all that later tonight after the live stream. I am really, really excited. I think the Vampire Counts look fantastic. I think their aesthetic is on point. I think their monsters are big and scary, and I see plenty of guys that are rotting and zombies with their lower jaws missing, and the Vargo had a hole in his side, and everything just looks fantastic. Can't wait. I'll have a lot of other stuff for you guys today. The Drycha video, I finally finished the script, so that should be coming out today, because I'm going to record that right after the live stream. So, thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you have a great day. I'll see you later tonight, definitely for some Warhammer Mark of Chaos, if nothing else. So, I'll see you guys then. Have a good one.